Hey guys, and welcome back to Titan Tries. This week we're going to be taking a look at a game called Machine Hunter, which is a game I do remember from my childhood, although I'm not quite sure how I ended up with it. And that splash screen there is so nostalgic for me. Electronic fun for everyone. Amazing stuff. This scene gave me nightmares as a kid. And that is basically who we're playing as. We're playing as some government militant soldier who has a suit who can transport himself into machines somehow. It's not explained. Not that we expected it to be explained, but yeah, that cinematic there always gave me the heebie-jeebies. It's odd the way we kind of just turn into a load of particles, screaming in seeming agony and terror, and then get absorbed into this machine. And the scene ends with us making a power fist and laughing like a madman. Kind of cool, to be sure. The controls are a little bit different versus your standard twin stick shooter these days. So instead of being able to smoothly control your character, we move with a D-pad and we actually aim our weapons with the face buttons, which isn't ideal. Now this is kind of cool. We can go into the bio system here and it will actually give us a bit of information on all of the robots that we can take over. The robots are not equal. For instance, this Rovac 5 Lockjaw, which has the grenade launchers, and its brain is grey matter apparently, is actually the second class of machine, and I prefer the first class, the one with the 15mm machine guns, which apparently is for pest control, I guess. Whereas this class 3 guy here is Child's Play series. I'm not really sure you'd want a robotic clown with a 9mm machine gun entertaining children, especially in American schools. Call me crazy, but that just doesn't seem like something that would mix. Luckily, we're not on planet Earth. We're on Mars because some kind of alien invasion is happening and they have attacked us by using some kind of a virus that has turned all of our machines against us. That's why we have been sent in with a magic suit that allows us to take control of robots. And this is kind of a cool thing. It really adds a nice little layer of flavor to this game. This game is also pretty bloody dark. It's very violent, which is good. Look how colourful these droids are. Biotechnology's Goliath Mark 1 Firestarter. So this thing has quad incinerators, even though it clearly only has 2 there. We're not going to question it. This also reminds me a little bit of Robot Wars. I was a huge fan of Robot Wars when I was a wee lad, and this kind of has a similar sort of vibe to it. Now, I don't think I actually completed this game as a kid because it is extremely hard. And in fact, this game defaults to the hard mode as well. Like, that is the standard difficulty. And it doesn't mess around. There are no checkpoints in the levels, but you do have lives, which is useful. The levels are incredibly maze-like, which is probably another reason why it's not higher up my nostalgic memories. Anyway, we have been summoned and we're about to answer the call. We're going to be leaving our beautiful, lush green planet and heading to the Red Menace, where there is some kind of alien invasion. Curious. I don't know if all of the Earth's shock troopers are on this one ship, or if we all have our own. It's a bit unclear. Reading some of the mission briefings later on, you're definitely not the only one that's been sent. Put it that way. I do like this little scene here as well. The animations are very smooth. But then this game was made by Eurocom Software, which, you know, they sort of had a pedigree. They made some notable games. It's an English development. So here we are, Alien Excavations. When you land at the dig, you will need to rescue the hostage. There is a hidden lift to the mines, which can only be opened by reaching the teleporter. Yeah, so this game has lots of secrets. There are hostages to rescue. There are power-ups to pick up. We start the game on foot, which isn't ideal. We're on foot. We've got 2 laser pistols, and let's just say things could certainly be better. So I'm going to acclimatize myself with the controls here. So yeah, face buttons to aim your weapons, and the D-pad walks us around. There are some giant Martian grubs here, which I don't know what they're for. Protein, probably. I suppose the Martian miners have got to eat something. And you can see the visual makeup of this game is very weird. It's very ominous, very bleak. I like that. Things don't get any better later on either. So you can see our laser pistols start off by making short work of these guys. And the music, the electronic 90s music, is pretty rad in this game. Not gonna lie. It does go pretty hard, and it adds wonderfully to the atmosphere. Also, there's a nice bit of depth here for a top-down game because, you know, you and the enemies and whatnot, everything is sprite-based, except the environments are 3D, and it works really well. It gives a lovely bit of depth. So Eurocom was an interesting company. They made James Pond. They made Earthworm Jim for the Game Boy and Game Gear, at least. They did the Sega Saturn conversion of Ultimate Mortal Kombat, and 40 Winks for the PlayStation, which I've heard of, but I'm not super familiar with that game. But they closed their doors in, I think it's 2012, due to financial difficulties, unfortunately. But, you know, it's a brutal world out there. So we have our first robot here. You destroy them until they deactivate, and then you can step into them. So our health bar is interesting. When our health reaches 0, we don't die. Our robot will explode. That is a green power-up, so it's a stage 2 weapon. And we can use that until we run out of ammunition, which is highlighted with the green orb. You can actually get stage 3 weapons as well, and depending on what robot you're actually in, the weapon does actually change and augment. For instance, we'll have a robot later on with grenade launchers, and stage 3 grenades are these blue bouncy balls that actually set on fire. Kind of cool. There are some other power-ups which we'll see later on. And there's that cool arcadey announcer voice when you pick things up or when your health is low. And I do like that. It certainly puts this game in a very 90s sort of time frame, but that's okay. So anyway, let's keep cutting our way through these enemies. There's only one person to save on this level, and that is the guy that we've picked up. There are hostages on every level, and what's interesting is they're all different. They're all unique to the level, which is cool. Now, when we deactivate a robot, we can actually just leave it for later in case we need it, or we can step into it straight away, even if we're already in another machine, and we will instantly transport into that robot. Now, the cool thing about that is you can use these defeated robots as health, which is cool. There are secrets dotted around, and sometimes you'll be able to get into a new robot that has powered up weapons, which is cool. It's kind of cheaty because the enemy has unlimited of this upgraded weapon, whereas obviously you do not. At least I'm pretty sure they do. So this level starts off very simple. It is very maze-like, or at least you can see sort of the maze-like level design that is coming. But this level is very simple. But as soon as we get into the second level, yeah, things go from 0 to 60 pretty quick when it comes to level design. And I believe that is one of the reasons why I don't remember it quite as fondly as maybe other people do. Because I was never a big fan as a kid of maze-like level design. I also like the added bit of depth of the particles where we step through portals and things like that, or rescue somebody and the particles kind of gravitate towards the screen. I like that. I do like seeing a bit of depth in these old games. Overboard, that we recently played, used this to a wonderful degree. Now this is the second type of robot. This is the grenade launching one. This guy, he's not as terrifying as he looks. And in many respects, I actually prefer this robot. But he is fast. Given the fact that he's got a twin link grenade launcher, you'd think he's more powerful, and he is, but not to the degree that you would think. One good thing about him is he will fire a grenade every time you push a button. So you could really spam this grenade launcher. But these are some of the aliens or mutants or heretics that we have to contend with. We just pound the ground and send out a massive shockwave, and that shockwave does travel for some distance, although it's not super dangerous. They can take a decent amount of punishment as well, and everything explodes into a nice messy gory puddle, which I approve of wholeheartedly. So we're almost through this level now. We basically just have to save the guy and get to the end. Now this robot is really, really fast, which I like, and it's actually quite useful in the next level. The next level has been heavily edited down because, man, we got lost. We got really lost, and a 10-minute level actually became nearly an hour. But the good news is I was having so much fun replaying this that I didn't care. Alright, looks like we've been engaged. See this guy? This guy is firing different color shots. He's firing green, which means he has stage 2 weapons, which is kind of putting us at a disadvantage. But if we grab him, we then get the powered up weapons, which is cool. Now, as I've explained as well, I don't know, I've already done one take of this video that didn't come out very well, so maybe I'm repeating myself, maybe I'm not. Oh, we can run the bugs over with this guy. Cool. You are at a bit of a disadvantage with the weapons, and that is essentially we can only fire in 8 directions, and it's actually quite difficult to fire in the northeast kind of directions, northeast, you know, southwest and all that kind of stuff. Like up, down, left and right is easy, but whenever you want to shoot in a diagonal kind of pattern, it's difficult. The enemy doesn't have that issue at all. The enemy can lock on to you with 360 precision, and yeah, that is something that's gonna punish you later. And as far as I know, this is not DualShock compatible. So at the end of each level, we get a tally of our kills, our rescues, our items, and our secrets, of which there are many. Second level, the mines. The invaders have taken control of the planet's ore mining operation. You must collect explosive devices from the 2 mine sub-levels. Locate the furnace on the sub-level 2 and plant the explosives you need to find on the exit and then find the exit lift before they go off. Now, it doesn't tell you how many explosives you need to find, and although it tells you to destroy the furnace, it doesn't tell you how to destroy the furnace. These things are trivial and simple, right? Well, maybe they are, but it gave me some serious problems. So this power-up we've picked up is a giant spiky ball that's actually going to travel around us. It's kind of cool, to be honest. You do get an upgraded one later on that will follow us. So there's the exit, or should I say it will home in on the enemies. So there's the exit that we need to get to. However, we need to find our explosives first. And we have many, many, many more hostages to find on this level. I did find them all. They weren't too hard to find. What I didn't realize as well is the map is actually fairly detailed, which we'll see in a minute. Maybe as a kid, I didn't use the map too much. And here is the powered up third stage grenades, which are on fire, which are, you know, they're pretty cool. They make this robot a lot better. And I do love the fact that we can leave a blood trail behind us. So, we're going to rescue all the mining workers and continue exploring. So we do get some area effect weapons as well. You can see the map there. Obviously the stuff in grey is where we haven't been, or the stuff that isn't highlighted as colourfully, or lit up, I should say. Words, man. Words. Use your words, damn it. So yeah, here's the map, and we can actually turn on pulsating icons for everything. Gee, that would have been useful. I don't know why they default to being off. Maybe later on there's just so many items on the map that it becomes a little bit messy. I'm not sure, but blue flashing dots are hostages that we need to save. Interesting, you can turn the icons on and off. However, it doesn't tell you what color is what. So you have to, through trial and error, have to turn things on and off. And yeah, kind of odd. It also doesn't highlight your mission objectives, at least as far as I'm aware on the map. For instance, you know, where the bombs are or where you've got to drop them. Two pretty important things, if you ask me. But hey, what do I know? At least the hostages are highlighted, right? Now, there is something very satisfying about saving the hostages and the combat. It is good fun. The game also runs very, very smoothly. And this is something that I remember even when I was a kid. It's not 60, but it does feel pretty smooth. Unlike when you go back and play some of the old games, some of the other top-down shooters from the time, which do not play smoothly. We don't animate well. There is another game that we're going to be looking at that is a really good game, but it does suffer from animation problems and, well, other problems, but that's for another time. Now, we have these healing pads. They're very nice. This game also has a cooperative mode, which I didn't know about, because when I was a kid, I didn't really have anyone to play with. Because when I was a young kid, actually, with my Mega Drive and all that good stuff, I actually lived next door to my best friend, which was fantastic. But when I grew up, a little bit older, and we really moved into the PlayStation and N64 era. After the first year or so of that, I actually moved away, like away from everybody. Yeah, so I was basically locked in on my own with my PlayStation. Now, some people would say that sounds pretty bad, but it was genuinely some of the best years of my life, which is probably why I'm so introverted and I'm one of these people who could be locked away on my own for years and I would be perfectly content. So anyway, let's continue looking for these bombs. Now, from what I can remember, there is a bomb on this level and there's 2 bombs on the second level. Now, these burning rocks that are flying out of the molten lava pits will hurt us. And this is another bit where I got lost, so let's skip to where I actually came across the furnace sort of area. The furnace area is cool. It's different. You can see these mining caves, I guess, that have been carved out of the deeper rock. And it's cool. I like this whole area. I like the mine carts. There's something, you know, recognizable about it. And we're just about to lose our robot, which could have been a really bad time. And you can see I'm having extreme difficulty like hitting this guy. But it doesn't matter, because as soon as he's dead, we get a full life bar. And instantly we're attacked by another mining machine. I'm guessing these guys, the more I think about it, they must be aliens, right? Because our robots are helping them. I also don't know what happened to this guy. I managed to get him into a stun lock. That's the only time I've ever managed to stun lock an enemy. It's kind of odd, actually, because generally you can't do that. They will keep moving and shooting you regardless of what sort of position they're in. So later on in the game, I do remember that we have key cards and other objectives. There's a few timed objectives coming up, which that's another gaming trait that I do not like. I don't like being under time pressure. I don't mind it if it's for a challenge or, you know, something optional. But as a rule, that was not good. Destroyed by the molten rocks. Yeah, do not like being constantly under time pressure. That is a game mechanic that, if the game is built around it, I will just straight away disregard the game, and I'm not interested whatsoever. Lost Planet, actually, is probably the only game where you constantly have a time limit that I've probably tolerated. However, even that game would have been so much better without the time limit constantly ticking down and constantly looking for T energy or thermal energy. Yes, that was an interesting game. I actually really liked Lost Planet. Wait, was it Lost Planet? It was Lost Planet, wasn't it? Yes. Really liked that game. Anyway, after endlessly searching for this furnace, we finally come across it, and you notice I have 2 bombs in my inventory. I have no idea how many bombs, by the way, that I need to collect. It's 3, by the way. I found that out. I think the game probably should have made that a little bit clearer. So let's clear this furnace area out. I would love to remember how far I actually got in this game as a wee kid, because I remember this level very well when I started playing it. I remember the first level extremely well, and I remember the third level, but I only seem to remember them when I start playing them. It kind of all comes back to me. There's 17 levels in total, which is definitely more than I thought, and as they get more complex as you go on, I would imagine I probably would have not necessarily struggled with the level layout. I probably just would have got frustrated with the maze-like gameplay, which, to be fair, was very common at the time. So anyway, this is the furnace. We picked up another bomb there. I was like, right, how the bloody hell do I get that explosive in there? Because I obviously need to pick it up. And, you know, shoot it, really. Shooting it seems to solve every problem in this game. Now, we have 3 bombs. And I was playing this, so I was like, right, is that all the bombs that we need? I have no idea. I don't even know where to put these bombs. I have driven or walked around this entire furnace at this point, trying to put bombs on it. And yeah, nothing seems to work. I've read and reread the mission description. We have Lots of droids that seem to be getting angry. One thing I like is there's actually a finite amount of enemies. Enemies do not respawn or anything like that, as far as I know anyway, because there is actually a kill count at the end, which is another thing that I actually do like. That is a strength. You can kill all the enemies, which is something that I always like. So here I'm trying to like walk into these panels. Like, where do I put the bombs? Do I shoot it? Oh boy. I'm going to kick myself because I go on a damn near probably 30-minute exploration run on what to do. And rereading the introduction. Yep, no mention of how many bombs there are to find. It just says that we need to find the furnace and place the explosives. It's like, let's go back and have another look. And you'll see me save state in a second. I'm like, wait a minute. And suddenly I remembered. It's like, I think we walk into the furnace. You know, the thing that you would think would be certain death. Nope, that is exactly what we do. We walk into the furnace. That is how we plant the bombs. I don't know if you need to have found all 3 bombs or what. But, you know, we're not here to ask questions. We're here to blow things up. Now we have 2 minutes to escape this entire facility. Luckily, that's actually not that bad. I was thinking, shit, 2 minutes. So I'm going to have to, like, perfectly remember my way back. And there is a specific route that you kind of have to remember as well. Luckily, going into your map, which is fantastic, does not continue the timer. We switched over to this grenade guy as well, just because he's so much faster than the ant walker robot. So yeah, you can kind of see the route that we have to make. I have to say as well, for an early PlayStation 1 game, the wireframe map is really, really good. Almost reminiscent of, yeah, and it kind of looked like there should be a secret there or something, but there isn't. Almost reminiscent of Doom. Even though I always thought the Doom map was arse. Yeah, I mean, it was better than nothing. That's all it was. It was better than nothing. Whereas this game's actually 3D, and you can kind of see around, and it's really well illustrated. You know, what's above, what's below, that kind of thing. Now, the only thing that has changed, now we've planted the bombs, is the rocks that are flying out of these caverns have gotten way more animated and way, way more violent. Now, dropping from a height does damage you. There is fall damage in this game. It doesn't appear to be a lot, but it is there, and it's probably something that's going to come and bite you in the butt sacks, probably later in the game. Alright, let's get out of here. And I did a boo-boo here. It kind of looked like I could drive straight through on the map and go up, but that's just me being a derp and not reading the map properly. Not that I would ever do such a thing as read the map improperly. Ha! I'm a master cartographer. Honestly, he lied. Alright, so it looks like it's a fairly simple shot. And what's interesting as well, once you've cleared these maps out and all the enemies are dead, you kind of get a much cleaner travel around them. Obviously, right? Because you're not stopping every 5 seconds to shoot everything. But what that is, it kind of illustrates just how small the maps are. They don't feel that small to start with when you're blasting your way through. But they really are quite small when you think you get given 2 minutes to get past this level. Or this timer. And 2 minutes is more than enough considering how many times we screwed up. And that is the end of level 2. We got 0 secrets. We got most of the items. Rescued everything and killed everything but one measly little alien maggot somewhere. And then we get to the compound. Back on the surface, our attacks are failing. Our fighters are being destroyed by heavy artillery. Destroy the gun emplacements situated around the compound and proceed to the barracks. Yeah, I really, really vividly remember this level. I actually paused the video here because I was like, you know what, had enough. I'll do my outro here. And then I was like, nah, this level's coming back to me. I remember it. Let's have a crack, because we have to fire these. We have to destroy these massive gun batteries, which is good fun. I don't know what that on the map is. Those green symbols. I'm not really sure. I do remember all these massive like artillery hardware and these APCs and tanks and things in the background. These human vehicles. Wishing that we could actually grab one of those. And look, the hostages are now soldiers, which is a nice little touch. So anyway, guys, this is pretty much does it for this game. We have massive explosions that will kill us. I haven't decided if I want to one day cover this game. It is a lot of fun, but it's a game that's probably going to get very hectic later on. So guys, let me know what you thought. Do you have any other suggestions for top-down shooters? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, till next time.